So good evening, everybody. You're welcome to this week's Forex Outlook for the 27th to the 31st of May 2024, brought to you by Trading Pro. Trading Pro is an international multi-award winning broker with 7 years trading experience. The Nigerian office offers a lot of training facilities for both beginners and advanced students. For the beginners, we have physical trainings at our number 2 Allen Avenue office every Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9:30 to 12 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have advanced classes between 8:30 and 9:30 via Zoom. And we also offer lots of interesting account spreads, swap-free accounts, cent accounts for beginners. And for those who would like to earn, but don't have the time to trade, we offer palm account management and community and copy trade services. So if you would like to get into any of those services, just go into my YouTube page, Great White FX, click on Earn and Learn. Once you click on this, it will take you to a landing page where you can register and sign up. And also on the video, you also have it's broken down into chapters. So you don't need to move any forward. If you just want to find out information about GBPUSD, you click only on the highlighted blue numbers and it will take you straight to only that content for the pair you are interested in. So without taking too much of our time, let's get down to the economic calendar. This week, Monday is going to be very calm. Bank holiday in Britain, bank holiday in US, so it's going to be very calm. Then on Tuesday, we have high impact news on the US dollar. Wednesday, high impact news on Aussie CPI. German prelim CPI on Wednesday for the euro. On Thursday, we have prelim GDP and unemployment claims. On Friday, we have core PC for the dollar index and GDP for CAD. So that's it going into the new week. So let's start off. As always, we're going to start off our pairs with the US 100, dollar index, the Euro USD, the GBP USD, gold, Euro pound, pound yen, and Euro yen. So we're going to start off with the weekly. If we look at the weekly on this pair, what you're looking at is the swing highs and swing lows on it. If I pull back my candles, you can see. So if we look at this, we can basically see this is in a bullish move on the weekly. If we drop down to the daily, you can see that also it's in a bullish move on the daily. We drop down to the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour, it's pointing to possible weakness. The 4-hour is pointing to possible weakness in the sense that we've had liquidity swept below this low. But when liquidity is swept below a low, most often the high that sweeps that liquidity gets broken. So, but if we notice, that was not the case here. So if we move into our annotated candle chart, we'll go down to the 1 hour, you see why I have that concern. If we go down to the 1 hour on the US 100, we're going to see we have this bearish order blocker. And if you notice, price has not been able to close it. We have this breaker here and see price retested and dropped. So on the 1 hour, price has not been able to remove this bearish order block. So that points to the fact that we might see price continue to the downside. There's a possibility that we might see price try to move into filling this other block, these fair value gaps. And if that fails to hold, then we might be seeing price coming for 8551 going into next week. But that will change once price is able to go above 18948. As once price is able to go back above 18948, then the bullish move will continue. If not, there's a possibility we might see further weakness going into the week before a continuation to the upside. So that's of the way. The next way we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. The dollar index is a little bit, let me explain why the dollar index is a little bit challenging now. If you look at the dollar index on the weekly, it has a bullish swing on the weekly. We have this low that took out this high. This is a bullish swing on the weekly. If we go to the daily, we still have this swing, but in internal range, we're having internal bearish internal movement. We're having bearish internal movement on this pair. And see, we have this low, we have this high. This high broke this low, and price has come back into the range of this high to this low. Came very close to the 50%. Then if we move down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour and the daily are almost in alignment. The 4-hour has a bearish swing, but its internal is bullish. That's why we have a little bit of challenge with the dollar index going into the new week. Now, if you switch into your candles, whenever a high fails to take out a low, that high becomes a target. And if you notice, if we look at this, let me go to the 4-hour time frame on my candle chart. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, if you look at the swing, you would notice that this high did not break this low. And we already have a swing here. So now, going into next week, the possibility exists that this might still go down. Because as you can see, we have all these fair value gaps. If any of these fair value gaps fails to hold price may be coming for these equal highs before it continues the downside. So for dollar index is a bit mixed. So we would need to watch and see what it gives us on Monday, Tuesday. On the 4-hour time frame, you're having what looks like a bullish internal structure inside a bearish swing. So going into next week, I would wait to see if these fair value gaps reject price, then we might see price start coming for these lows. But if that fails to happen, then we might see price move to fill here and either gone for 105.45. So that's what I see on the US dollar index going into the new week. And again, there was something I pointed out. There's a pattern, I call it 3-candle pattern. Whenever you have 1, 2, 3, the 4th candle will always go down. 1, 2, 3. The 4th candle is always down. 1, 2, 3. It's not 100%, but it doesn't feel that often. This is the bullish version. 1, 2, 3. The 4th candle will always go up. See if I can find another one. 1, 2, 3. Here you can say it failed here. But when it's moving out of a swing low or swing high, well, you have it fail here, kind of. So the possibility, so you have 1, 2, 3, and the bullish instead of a bearish move. So the possibility is that is what we might see this week. This might still move up before we see the next move lower. But that depends on what the dollar index does on Monday. So by Monday, we'll be watching to see if price is able to get rejected from any of these 4-hour gaps, 4-hour fair value gaps to move lower. Can we all still hear me and see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the EURUSD. If we look at the EURUSD is still slightly bullish. It's still slightly bullish. Let's go down to the weekly. Start off from the weekly. If we look at the weekly, we don't have a bullish range on the weekly. We have this high that broke this low. So we're having a deep retracement into this high, into this point to this point. If we put in our candles, we could see this is what price is doing. So from this swing low to this swing high, we can see price is at premium levels, and most likely it may come for 109.08. But last week's candle closed as an inside candle inside this previous week. So that is worth noting. If we go down to the daily has a bearish swing, but internally it is bullish. Internally, it's looking bullish. You can see internally it's giving a bullish confirmation. And again, the inability of price to close above 108.85 is another reason for concern. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, this is a bullish swing, but internally we're having what looks like a bearish movement. So if we go into our candles on the 4-hour, if you notice, we had a lower low, but it didn't take out this high at 108.61. So if this is to continue bullish, this high has to be taken out. So for now, going into the new week, we'll go here, US as 4-hour time frame. Just like I pointed out on the dollar index, the possibility is that this may be coming into any of these 4-hour fair value gaps. And if it finds support there to continue to the upside. But if it fails, then we might see price coming here. So that's what we have on the Euro USD. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the GBPUSD. So looking at the GBPUSD, this is slightly more bullish than the Euro USD. Start off from the weekly. We start off from the weekly on this pair. We can clearly see that this pair on the weekly, it's in a bearish swing. We have this high that broke this low. So we're having a pullback into this high to this low. That's what we have on the weekly. So if we pick this 28.93 is a protected high because it was used to break this low. So we have something like this. So we go down to the daily time frame. If we go down to the daily time frame, like I said, we have a bearish swing, but internally we are looking at a bullish move. We have 24.46 that broke this high at 26.32. So we go down to the 4-hour time frame. We go down to the 4-hour time frame. We still have a bearish swing because this, bullish swing, this low broke this high. But internally, we're having what looks like a bearish kind of situation. So if we put in our candles, this is what we have. We can see that this high, price has not closed above them. So that points to the fact that we might see a bit of a down move before a continuation to the upside. Because if you pick up this zone, that's from this swing to this swing, price just stopped at the 25%. So the possibility is that it might still come for the 25%, but that depends on what Monday offers. So like I pointed out on the GBPUSD, this also has its own fair value gaps. When a low fails to close above a high, that low most often becomes a target. That's what we need to have at the back of our mind. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is gold. Gold is showing signs of a short-term weakness. So if we go to the gold, let's start from the weekly. If we look at gold from the weekly, it's bullish. It's clearly bullish. This low has broken this high. If we go into the daily is still slightly bullish, but this low seems to have broken this high. That's 2277 seems to have broken 24.31 57. But if you switch to your candlesticks, you'll find out that price did not close above it. When a low fails to take out a high, that low becomes a possible target. So this is what we have now. So already we have a bearish swing here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. This bullish order block has been taken out as well as this. So price is now at this last zone here. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, go to the 4-hour time frame, we'll notice this low here. See that price broke below it, and price is now sitting back above that 23.32. So the possibility exists that going into this new week, if we look at this on the 4-hour, the possibility exists that going into this new week, we might see a bit of a retracement before a continuation to the downside on gold. If we look at it on the weekly, we have a bearish engulfing on the weekly. We have a bearish engulfing on the weekly. We have first bearish engulfing, failed, second swept the high, and this has worked out. So most likely this is going to, we might see a little bit of a retracement and the continuation to the downside on this pair going into the new week. The next pair we're going to be looking at is EURGBP. This pair is just basically down. There's no two ways about it. It's basically on the down move. You can see, but it's at what looks like a support kind of area. We have this low here as where price is. Then we have this low here. Start from the monthly. This level here is a yearly high. If I put in my candles, this was the high for last year. That's 2023. That's the low, no, sorry, the lowest for the year. That's the lowest for the year. That's last year's low. So if we go to the weekly, if you notice, price is at the support structure and it has not closed back below this previous low. If you notice, anytime they come down to 85.04, they will not close below it. They either close at it, slightly above it, or they reject. So going into this new week, the possibility is that we might see a bit of euro strength coming in, but it's still down. So what we might see is a buy to sell. If you go to the 1-hour time frame, you're going to see the setup clearly. You can already see it. We have this low, this high. So this breaker, you can see it played out, close back above here. So price is coming back in here. If it gets rejected, then we might see price come up to this area. So going into the new week for euro pound, we might see a buy to sell. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is pound yen. The pound yen basically still very, very bullish. Still very, very bullish. On the 4-hour, it hasn't been able to close above this high. It hasn't been able to close above this high here. But that high, let's go to the weekly. That high is, if you pick this weekly pin, this weekly upper week, that's what you have this level at. Again, that's from 197.92 to the high at 200.56. And if we notice, if we go to the monthly, price is probably trying to fill up. Price is probably trying to fill up this area here. See, price is coming into a big monthly bearish fair value gap. That's where price is coming into now. So price may be trying to close it up a little bit. So if you put in the annotations, the consequent encroachment of that monthly fair value gap is at 202.81. So going down now to the intraday, this pair is still bullish. As you can see, we have this 3 candle formation here. So you see what I was talking about on that GBP on that dollar index. We have something like this. The fourth candle bearish, and then the next candle bullish. So that's what we might see on the dollar index. There's a possibility that is what we might see on the dollar index, but not so sure. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame on this pair, we would notice that price is failing to close above 199.90. So we might see a bit of a retracement and a continuation to the upside. So that's what we have on this pair. The same thing too with the pound yen. The pound yen is still bullish. We might see a bit of a retracement on it before it continues to the upside. As you can see, the week closed off bullish. So most likely it might be going for 171 this week before 171.51. Because if you look at the pound yen and the euro yen and the pound yen, you can see that the pound yen is very close to the high, but the euro yen is not yet there. The euro yen is not yet there. It still has a little way to go. The euro yen is at the 50 of this pin bar, while the pound yen is at the 75% quadrant. Any questions? Any questions or anybody who want me to look at before we call it a night? So
USD card.
okay. Okay, let me look at USD card. This seems to be in the range on the weekly. There's another block. Might be deep into this other block to move higher. That's it. It's evident here. It's evident here. Evident here. Going to the daily time frame. The daily has a bullish swing, kind of, but internally is reading bearish. The internal structure is reading bearish. Internal structure is reading bearish. So whenever it makes a low, it comes for the previous. Whenever it makes a high that doesn't take out the previous one, it comes for that low. You get, so looking at what we have now, I see a slight possibility that this low might be target going into this new week. There's a possibility that that is what we might be looking at. Now it's already clear. It's already clear. We have a violation of this low. So this week, any rally on this pair might be an opportunity for a shot. Might be an opportunity for a shot. Might be an, let me look at it on the far. He hasn't made a new, his lows has not made, but if we look at it, look at it. the possibility still exists that it may just rally, come down to go back up again. Why? Why do I say that? This here, this high didn't break this low. So price has removed this high and this bearish structure here. So this might just be a move to come down and go back up. Because if you see where price is sitting at this other block. So going into Monday, the possibility is that it may rally, fill in any of this. That doesn't mean you can buy it if you want to. You can buy it to fill in any of this place and continue back down. But this is what you should be watching. The short should be coming in from here. That's 3700 or slightly above it for a move lower. Because on the 1 hour, you now have a broken swing low. So this may retrace and move back down before moving back to the upside in line with what you have on the 4 hour here. So any other question? Any other anybody?
Please, when you say annotations, what do you mean by annotations?
That's what I have on my chart. Levels marked up. Levels marked
Okay,
up.
okay,
That's what I mean by
okay,
annotation.
okay. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
No.
In the absence of any other questions, I wish everybody a beautiful night sleep and a lovely week ahead.